So we're over at Thornton 100A with Jody, so thank you very much for having us here.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Just having a tour around his workshop at the moment. So, yeah, it's come a long way, hasn't it, since it first started?
Yeah, so we just come into our, I think it's 8th year now. We started, I would say we now because there's more than one of us, but yeah, I forget that I started, it was just me.
Yeah.
2016, there's a photo over there we'll go have a look at in a bit. November 2016 or October 2016, where I literally finished my apprenticeship at a company called Nifty Lift just down the road.
Yeah.
Had a dispute over some wages. I think I was kind of treated a bit unfairly from that point. But then I just decided to leave, and I was fined all my tuition fees, so I didn't tell anyone at the time. Got a bank loan out. Yeah. Just as I turned 20 pretty much, and had a credit card and started building some motorbikes and bought bikes for £200, sold them £400, bought a £400 bike, sold it for £800, bought an £800 bike, sold it for £1,600, and it just kind of rolled like that, and we still kind of core business operates on that kind of core level. We buy a bike, we modify it, and then we sell it. So yeah, it's been a long journey. I mean, this is our 5th workshop that we're in at the moment. Moved into here 2 years ago, signed a 10-year lease thinking we'd be sweet, and we're absolutely not. Yeah. We're bursting at the seams in this quiet period, so yeah, we're going to have to look at potentially upsizing again, doing some modifications to this building again to expand, so it's yeah, been explosive growth.
So when you first started, was it always modifying, or was it like fixing them up and then selling them, or was it?
Well, when you first start really in business, I find that by any means, like it was literally like if someone had a broken car, they would come to me, I'll be like, I'll fix it, you know what I mean? Or if it was a broken bike, or I remember I had a Daytona Triumph that wouldn't run, and yeah, I just went through the whole thing and serviced it and fixed it, and there was a popped off pipe in the oil pump in the tank, and serviced the forks and suspension, and just kind of got it done and got it out. But really, and I do that just to get by, just to pay. I mean, to be honest with you, I was living at home with my mum. I was paying her like, I think it was £120 a month or something rent. So just to pay that really. Yeah. So yeah, scratching by really to really do what I really wanted to do, which was modify bikes. And after sort of 6 months-ish, I sort of moved workshops, and then I was in another village just down the road, a shed workshop with a company called MTS Classics. Yeah. And it was good, but I knew that I wanted to be building brand new bikes, because I was working on like 20, 30-year-old motorbikes, and they're just heaps. they're rusty, all the bolts are seized, it's just a nightmare, and I really knew I wanted to be working on new bikes, and it took me 3 years to get to the point where I had a customer bring me a brand new Triumph bobber. And then from there, it was really kind of, that was what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to work on brand new bikes, and saved up. I actually bought 2 brand new Triumph bobbers, which was, at the time, I think it was just over 20 grand, it was like 21 grand or something like that. And for me, how old would I have been? 23, 21,000 quid, just bang, on the bikes. I supercharged both of them. I made all the wide wheel kit for both of them as well, and literally just, it got to the point where I was building up enough to kind of get things rolling and build crazy bikes like that. And I sold one to Joe Wicks and another one to a guy called Ryan in America, who was an actor, and yeah, it kind of took off from there really, and the Joe Wicks kind of thing, once that kind of got out, it's kind of rolled really, and we used social media and leaned on social media to be able to grow the business as well. So social media for us is a huge thing. It's a massive tool for us to grow and expand and create brand awareness, and as a sales channel as well, it works really well. So it's good. Yeah,
because would you mind just like taking us through really what you're doing here?
Absolutely. So, well, the workshop, I actually think it's a little bit messy at the moment, even though it is a Saturday. But what the difference between us is, you know, you look at a lot of motorcycle workshops, and they're kind of messy, and there's boxes everywhere, and there's just stuff piled up and things. It's just a bit of a grease factory, And although this can get like that, the majority of the time we try and keep it really clean, really nice, and really neat. And so we've got the lights up here. which allows us to kind of work on the bikes without too much shadows. Like when you're working in the side of the bike and an engine, like in my old workshops, I was literally head torches and that. Don't need that in here, especially when we've got the windows open and that's a sunny day. So yeah, this is a setup really. So we've got all of the pro bike ramps, and again, these are a big investment. Like most workshops you'll find work on a CE ramp, like a cheapy kind of £300 or £400 motorbike ramp.
Oh, little red ones, aren't they?
Yeah, little red ones, and you know, even like you see professional shops working on them, and they're fine, they're okay, you know, they do a job. But like, I was always like, I want to be at the top. I want to be the best of what we do. We want to be neat, clean, and tidy, and we want to have processes, and we want to have all the kit to do it. I can't put a £150,000 motorbike on a £300 ramp. It just doesn't make any sense. So you know, these were another big investment, and you know, I bought the ramps and all the kit. I think it was about 15 grand. That I'd spent in around 2020, just before COVID, which was an interesting one actually, that, because I literally moved into my new workshop and I couldn't afford it, and the workshop was £700 at the time, and I was stressing out, and if only it was still the same £700, that'd be fantastic. But yeah, I just moved in, I bought all the ramps, and I had this super nice fitted workshop, and it was all like really super nice, and then COVID hit, and I remember sitting there, head in my hands. I remember speaking to my friend Richard, who owns another motorcycle tuning shop, and he was like, "Game's up, mate. Like, we're all gonna have to just hunker down, and that's what everyone's doing. So just get your head down and just don't like do too much. You know what I mean?" And I was like, "Okay." And I was like, literally a week or so rolled past, and I literally my Instagram, because everyone had been furloughed at this point.
Yeah.
My Instagram, I was looking at my Instagram, and I was like, everyone's watching. I was like, this is like really interesting, because everyone had hunkered down and stopped doing anything. Like everyone, even the motorcycle shops had gone home. And I was like, well, I'm still allowed to work. I'm a lone worker. There's only one of me. So everyone hunkered down, and I ploughed loads of money into, when I bought a new bike, and ploughed loads of money into WFB1, World's Fastest Bob 1, and a Supercharged Speed Triple, and I just built them on camera. And I was throwing money at these projects, had a brand new swanky workshop, and it just made no sense. And then luckily we got a little bit of support from the local councils. I think I had a £10,000 grant, and everyone like kept that money to like keep them like along. But because I was doing so much on Instagram, I was like, well, everyone's applied for it anyway. I bought myself my 3D printer, and I spent £12,000 on a 3D printer, and everyone was like, you're nuts, you know what I mean? I was like, well, you know, this is what I want to do, this is where I'm going, and it's not showing any signs of slowing down. So I think by the time we come out the back of COVID, everyone had hunkered down and shriveled up and died as a company and disappeared. And we just come out absolutely like on the top. We were doing big projects, loads of people knew our name, we were working with some big stars, and that was when we moved to here. So a lot of this stuff here is kind of was kind of bought back then really, and it's kind of moved workshops with us. But these ramps are fantastic. And then we've got the big red toolbox, which lives in the middle there. So we actually ended up with a sponsorship from Mac, and also a sponsorship with the Walk Power Tools as well over there. Yeah, it's been fantastic. But we do have this big bench in the middle. My friend Jody built this for us, a company called JTech. So this is a bit messy. This is like super messy. You see there's like bits and stuff everywhere. But compared to the Mac toolbox, this is nice to get us going. And it's been good. But yeah, Mac toolbox is absolutely fantastic. All the latest tools, and all the engines here as well. So again, this is we're a bit of a victim of our own success with this sort of stuff, because we keep growing so fast and expanding. And I always think, we just baby steps, small step, and it's never big enough. Next time we move, it's got to be a big stretch, because I don't think it will take us long to fill that kind of up. So we're working on it at the moment. We're setting up another new 4,000 square foot workshop, where we're going to be having completely standalone, temperature controlled engine building rooms, fabrication rooms with like big extraction and stuff like that, proper sales suites and stuff like that. So yeah, it's another big step as well. But yeah, it's good to have this base as we are at the moment, because again, this isn't really too much of a stretch for us. It's a good spot. So we've got loads of bikes in at the moment. So these are our wide wheel Triumph bobbers, and they're basically, we built 49 bikes last year. I think 48 of them were Triumph bobbers. So actually, what we've only recently done in the last month is actually stocked our offerings of anything else. So we used to offer like Thruxtons and C120s and Scramblers and stuff like that in the lineup, and we've just come away from that completely, and we've just lent into the Bobber because we do so many of them. People love them. They're such a versatile bike. We make them go off-road. We make them go fast. You know, we can turn them into race bikes. Get your knee down on them.
Yeah, so you're doing that. Was it Woburn you were riding through there?
Yeah, so we're on a Desert Bobber. I have a look at that one upstairs. Yeah, so that's an interesting bike actually, very interesting bike. Yeah, and we're actually going to be using that one for a beach race in Margate in May. So that's going to be really good. And we've got a bit of a secret weapon for that that we've got stashed away. But it's that bike's going to be awesome for it as well. So. Yeah, so we've got loads of Triumph Bobbers in, and so basically what we do is we take a brand new bike, strip it all the way back down to the engine and the frame, and then rebuild it using our components. So if they're not our components completely, like we usually work with companies like, for example, Rotorbox, who make custom carbon wheels to fit our bikes to our specifications. So and this is typically what we build, stuff like this. So super wide, low, loud, really cool bits of kit. So. And then over here we have our exhaust fabrication bench. So literally just here is where we basically put together the exhaust and we built them from scratch.
Like weld? Was it just self-taught or?
Well, that's I taught myself initially, and then the first workshop I moved into, the bike shop I was sharing with a guy called Steve, and he taught me a lot about how to weld. And then my brother came along just after COVID. He basically, I taught him how to weld, and he's completely taken over pretty much all of that stuff. So I don't really get involved too much in the day-to-day building of the bikes as much anymore, as much as I'd like to anyway. And that's the thing with the company, as the company grows, it's hard to really do the things that you enjoy. I'm constantly dealing with like intellectual property issues, trademark stuff, like branding stuff. Sales, I do enjoy the sales to be honest with you, but there's other things like just insurances and other things that come into running the business that actually just not interesting to me, like running a payroll. You know, and it's just like, oh god, you know. So as we grow, we start to get to the point where actually we can employ people to do that for us. So that's good, and I think there's 7 of us now at the moment. So and it's nice we get the more specialised people in their fields, and the bigger we grow, the more specialised people we get, the better we get at obviously like branding or marketing, stuff like that, you know, like, because I was a marketing guy before, I don't know anything about marketing, you know, and it's like the welding, you know, you teach yourself the marketing. I taught myself a lot of the social media stuff, and you know, when there's a requirement for it and you can't pay someone for it, you just got to do it yourself. Just got to do it yourself. So that's a lot of what we did was just crack on and do it ourselves. So. Yeah, that was good, but yeah. So we've got engine builds going down over here, but probably not for too much longer. We're only really just getting into this project, which is a whole other big project that we're doing that I can't say too much about, but it's going to be very interesting. And then over here we've got our WFB2. So this is a very famous bike for us. This one was something that I built right off the back of the WFB1 that we did, World's Fastest Bobber 1. So we sold that bike and then we decided to do a 2. So it's all supercharged, nitrous oxide injected, and runs on a bioethanol flex fuel. Completely custom internals. I designed all the pistons, the con rods, the centrifugal bob weight clutches that go in it, all the custom carbon fibre wheels, all of the supercharger housing, exhaust, fuel system, inlets. It's absolutely wild. So this one made 300 horsepower at the rear wheel. So power to weight, it works out about 2,400 horsepower per ton. So yeah, it's a nippy bit of kit. It's come back to us for service. We actually sold this one as well. That was a tricky sell, that one, because it was like you're trying to find someone that's nuts enough to ride.
Yes.
You know what I mean, or want to be involved with that, because most people want something you jump on, press a button, and go.
Yeah.
So.
But this has like a self-start and stuff like that.
This one's got self-start, and this one was the first bike that we introduced Ty onto, or Thornton 100 artificial intelligence.
But you created that yourself, didn't you?
I worked with a guy called Dan, and we just got our heads down and came up with something. We wanted a bike to have a personality, like almost like Kit Knight Rider bike. We did that, and then we did the RR drift bike project as well. So both of these, this bike, WFB1 and the RR, all went up the hill at the Festival of Speed for the last 3 years. So this year, fingers crossed you're going to have something else to ride up the hill. So
Yeah.
it's going to be, it's going to be cutting it close, like literally cutting it close. And hopefully we get an invite. You can't apply to be, you can't pay. You have to be invited.
Yeah,
You have to have something really interesting. So that's good. But yeah, and like I say, we have all sorts of stuff. So this bike's going to Kazakhstan. But we've got bikes in Mongolia, Australia, America. We've got Dubai. Yeah. So in terms of actual workshops that we've or outlets that we've got one in Beijing and one in Dubai at the moment. We had one in America. Unfortunately, this was something that I was learning about business, and this was a tricky one. That like people in business are the most like some of the things I struggle with the most. Like engines and sales and profit and loss and ROI and all that stuff is like really easy to track.
Yeah.
But when someone's got their own opinions and thoughts and things like that, like it's tricky in business for me, like as well. So when I'm getting these people that are like running or representing us on other sides of the planet, I can't monitor. You know, sometimes it doesn't work. And we had a workshop set up in Colorado, in Boulder, and we went out there and we did a full US tour, and that we managed to go and meet Richard Rawlins at that one as well. So that was really cool. Yeah. So, but yeah, unfortunately, it just didn't work out. We had different visions. He didn't understand what the vision that I had, and you know, he was trying to make it his own. And I was like, well, actually, let's call it a day. So, interestingly, enough that kind of flopped really for us, which was one of the first times it was like really like a blow, and it was really kind of demotivating when you're dealing with people like that. It's hard dealing with other people in business. So you know what I mean. But yeah, the good thing that came out of that trip is we met a couple of other fellas. So we met one other guy called Jason, and he is absolutely fantastic, and he's going to be looking at doing a lot with us in the future as well. He's actually just ordered a couple more bikes as well. So he's a really cool dude. And we went and met Richard Rawlins at Gas Monkey, and that was really cool. So I was at a show. A guy called Chiro runs a show called a group called Petrol Hedonism. He had a show, Petrol Hedonism Live at Nebworth House, and Richard Rawlins was there, and we had a little stand set up, and he just came past, and he was like, "This is the coolest bike. I've got to get one of these." So got him involved. Had a couple meetings with him, and that was crazy because I'm 28, and I'd spent 10 years watching Gas Monkey.
Yes,
you know,
I used to,
growing up, you know, and this guy was so cool, you know, and it's just we went there, and we sent him over a big box actually, and we assembled it onto a bike that he bought in Texas just to negate any registration issues, stuff like that. And went out there, and you know, I was expecting Richard, within reason, not through any bad fault, but just through past experiences, like to be like not like be a busy guy, just not have enough time, and super famous and that, like, and he literally he made so much time for us, bought us all lunch, we drank beers, went out for dinner, you know, had a great time. And you know, it's interesting because it's bad enough here where we are, where we get people like looking in the windows like a fish tank, like literally, like, and like they might like tap on the window, like it's absolutely wild. We get people coming in, and I like it because, you know, it's nice that people want to come involved, but like we don't always have an hour or even half an hour to spend with someone to walk them around and show them. So Richard actually has a literally cage to keep people out, like a big cage around his like parking lot to keep people out. But when he gets 5 minutes and he sees people are out there, he'll just go out, say hello, shake their hand, you know, and kind of get involved, which is really good. But it's nice that he's got that kind of, I don't know if we could put a cage around here, but we're not at that level of fame either, to be honest with you. And I probably will be at one point, you know, but it's a TV show isn't something that we're really aiming for at the moment. I mean, everything's online now anyway, so this is why we're really leaning into social media stuff.
Because he's done some more YouTube now, hasn't he?
Yeah, they do a lot of YouTube stuff, so you can check that out on the Gas Monkey channel. They did a build video on our bike, and we did one as well. And it's really good.
As I saw that, I watched that. It was really interesting. What was the Mr. T link? Was there something with that, or?
Yeah, it was really interesting because he. I was when I was FaceTime with Richard, we had like a Zoom call, something like that, and we were backwards and forwards. But I was like, well, what colour do you want it? He was like, wait there. He like went off camera, just comes back and he brings back this pillow. And it's a Mr. T pillow, and like around the edge of the pillow is like this really cool, like kind of like antique-y, kind of like worn out kind of looking paint. He's like, I want it to look like this pillow. I was like, well, do you want Mr. T on it? And he was like, no. He's like, I just want it to look like a pillow. I was like, well, fantastic. So yeah, I literally took a photo of him with the Mr. T pillow, and yeah, we put it next to the bike and built it, and it was just awesome. What an experience that.
Yeah.
I spoke back and watched that video actually. That was a really good time,
really
and that was like sitting in his office, like, man, like I really feel like we made it. You know what I mean? I was like, this is just incredible. You know.
Just wondering, you look back, like you say, 10 years ago, you were watching the show, and then you sat in the actual where it was all filmed.
Yeah, and getting involved, and it was fantastic, and we had such a great time, and he's such a cool dude. So yeah, absolutely, we do another one with him, something like that. So yeah, it's been good. But like I say, as far as I aim with Thornton 100, it always just ends up we always just end up doing like completely exceeding that. You know what I mean? I've still got a bit of paper from when I first started my the business, and it was a 6-month plan, and all I wanted was a van. I was driving a £300 Jeep Cherokee, and all I wanted was a van. I remember buying my first van, and I wanted like a proper bench, like a lift and a bench, and wanted the better tools and stuff like that. I've still got that bit of paper, and still got the bit of paper where I drew out the logo, and yeah, I don't know how that all got kept. I think I don't know how that's still a thing, but somehow it still survived. So there you go. So yeah, it's cool to see all that still, you know, and have that to look back on, you know, and see how far we've come. Because it's easy to go, oh, we need to do more, but look how far you've come. It's just been wild. So yeah, we're having a good time at the moment. So yeah, and obviously we're expanding as well. So yeah, I'll take you guys upstairs and show you our sales suite.
No, thanks for bringing us up here. You're saying about this bike.
Yeah.
So this is.
This was an interesting bit of kit. This one. So yeah, this was actually started life out as one of our SL Triumph bobbers.
Yeah.
We did 5 of them, and I had a customer come in and he was buying number 3, and I was sort of walking him around it, bigging it up obviously, and selling them the bike and going, telling them all the features and telling them about these bikes, and they are fantastic. They're really like my favourite bobber we've built so far. And he was like, oh, well, why don't you build yourself one? And I was like, well, I can't really justify building the bikes which were 57 grand.
Yeah.
And just have it sat here. Like I've got to sell it. I've got people to pay. 57 grand's a lot of money. And he I remember him kind of pulling out, and he's like, oh, well, I'm going to buy one. I want number 3. And he said, you got number 5 available, haven't you? I said, yeah, we've got number 5. And he went, well, I'm going to buy you number 5. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I'll pay you for one. I'm going to pay you for another one, but I want you to build my one. I want you to build one for yourself. I want you to keep it forever. And I was like, yeah, absolutely fantastic. So yeah, that was the nicest gift anyone's given me. It's an awesome bit of kit. And then what we've actually done is we've taken that SL platform, what that was, and we jacked it up, we put some knobbly tyres on it, and changed the top yoke and changed the handlebars, and built that into a prototype desert bobber.
Okay.
So the SLs are great, but they're a good sunny Sunday bike. I wanted something I can jump on and use a bit for longer, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we ended up with and built that, and it's an awesome bit of kit, and we'll be racing it at Beach Racing in Margate in May, 18th or 19th of May, and it's going to be a really cool bit of kit, but completely built from scratch. 120 horsepower at the wheel, and it weighs, I think that one weighs about 197 kilos. So yeah, it's a fairly nippy bit of kit, and it just looks. I love how it looks. It just looks awesome.
So I see now you've got the your Thornton 100, but sticks out.
Yeah, absolutely. So we used to have all the Triumph stuff. So I actually bought a new brand specialist at the start of the year. No, it was about just after Black Friday sort of thing. I knew that the Thornton 100 brand with the big swoosh logo that kind of comes round, and we had another TH brand mark, and then we had loads of issues with copyright trademarks with Tommy Hilfiger, and that was horrendous. And I think if we're nipping on the heels of Tommy Hilfiger, then we're doing something right. So I knew we needed a branding update, but I also wanted something that was a little bit more in line with the modern stuff that we're building now. I mean, a lot of it's classic styled still, but a lot of it's geared up to be a bit real modern and sexy. So we come up with the new TH emblem, and we come up with the new Thornton 100 logo as well, which is on the tank there. So yeah, and it's good branding as well, you know, because we always used to put Triumph on it, and then I'm like, now they say Thornton 100.
Yeah.
The new branding specialist that we've got is very good, and obviously here every day, just smashing it out and getting it done really. And the brand, we're making lots of changes, and yeah, lots happening, lots changing. So yeah,
I see even your nuts have a TH on it, doesn't it?
Even so, all of on that bike, because it was an SL, all of the bolts on it, so every engine bolt, all of the axles, like everything is completely custom titanium.
Yeah.
And we literally engrave on the end of each of the bolts TH on as well. So yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, it's nice.
It's just a little touch in there. It's just.
Yeah, and it's just taken us so long to get to the point where we can do that, and yeah, it's I always forget how much work are in the bikes. Like I always just like I'm sat here looking at that now going, yeah, there's so much in that, but it's just baby steps. It's little bit, you know. And then we did the exhaust, and then we did the brakes, and then we did all that. And when you put it all together on a bike, it's it's really nice that it all comes together, and you know, you look back at it and go, oh yeah. Well, you know, like, number plate, we designed that like 2 years ago, but it's taken another 2 years to develop everything else on the bikes and get to the point where they are now, which is just very special bits of kit. So yeah, it works well. It's good.
No,
it's a good,
really nice.
awesome looking bit of kit.
And that's the one you took to Woburn, wasn't it?
That's the one we wanted to. Well, we built it as a desert bomber, but there's no desert,
No,
obviously.
That's the next best thing.
And the other thing that we were looking at as well was you know, getting it into getting on the beach, but the permits you need for beaches, and
really,
yeah, you got to like mask it off, and you need an ambulance, and it's just so much. Like I was like, do you know what? I was like, let's just take it to Sandy Lane. I was like, it's a road legal, it's a road legal bike, and it's that's technically a road. So yeah, it was more like a muddy lane. It's one of them. But yeah, no, looking forward to getting on that actual beach and actual sand. So it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, no, that does look really nice, and it does stand out so much more now with it 3D, the Thornton.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I say, the gel decals on the tank kind of mimic the Triumph ones, and again, like cost wise, now we're making it all ourselves. Like, you know, it's there's cost benefits to that as well. You know, like actually doing it all yourself, and that's what we're finding. You know, because as we grow, we are able to order more components, like more quantities of things, and things become more cost efficient. And yeah, it's but you know, I would like to be doing that to actually reduce the cost of our bikes. But the problem is, as we make things more cost efficient, we grow more. There's more staff, there's more overheads. You can't reduce the price. No. You know what I mean? It's yeah. Whereas if it was just me still, like back in my workshop, just doing it by myself, then yeah, it would be awesome. But yeah, no, it's good, and like I said, I love just developing stuff like that from scratch. And coming up with a cool idea, and no one's ever done it before, and yeah, kind of broke the internet, that one, I must admit.
Yeah.
I think we launched it. We launched that one about a month or so ago, and we've already had like over 10 million views just using that bike on all our content. So yes, it's really good. Proper bit of kit.
So here's something we sort of spoke about earlier. You know, when you get what keeps you motivated? That's probably what I'm looking for. What keeps you motivated? You know, when you have bad days and things aren't going right, what keeps you wanting to push forward and just, you know, like you're saying downstairs with when everyone started hibernating, you know, and just probably I had a lot of friends that just drank every single day.
Yeah.
You know, what kept you? What made you go? You know what? I'm gonna come out of this better.
There was a fair bit of drinking involved during COVID. There was actually, yeah, it was quite good. Yeah, what keeps me motivated? It's an interesting thing because it for me, like growing up, like we grew up in just a normal house, like normal family, and that, like never really had. And initially, I thought I wanted to like be successful, and I thought I wanted like to have like loads of money and like have a big house and stuff like that. And I'm like 28 now, and actually for me, it's not really about that kind of stuff. Actually, for me now, because the business has grown and it's doing well, like that's less of a priority for me now. Like, but motivation for me is growing the company to the point where I can employ lots of young, not even young, just talented people that want to do it and want to work and want to do better and want to build. And actually for me, the thing that's motivating me the most at the moment, because it does change and it changes probably every year for me, is building something that is a legacy, that it becomes a part of British motorcycling history and worldwide motorcycling history. You know, there's a obviously you got the big manufacturers, Triumph and Thornton, and there was a guy who built a bike called Britain's, and that was a really iconic bike. And I think they only built how many built, very limited numbers, like 20 or something like that. And I want to leave a mark on the motorcycle industry that just came from a shipping container. You know, really humble beginnings. I want Thornton 100 to outlive me. I want it to still be here in 100 years. So the motivating thing for me is building a really strong brand, building a legacy, building excellent motorcycles and components, and building them an even stronger brand and legacy, and a really strong following of a core fan base that really want to be involved. So, and I think, you know, if you do that, then, you know, my initial motivations of money come, and that just comes naturally anyway. And then yeah, like just kind of continue to grow it and just be the best that Thornton 100 can be, because it's it's easy to say, oh, I want a big house, or I want this, that, and the other, and that's a personal thing. But I actually find that now I'd rather live in my workshop, I think, than have a big house, because I don't want a big house to clean or anything like that. But just to be able to provide for everyone that works here, and make sure that they're looked after, and make sure that we build the best product we can build, and just have fun and build cool stuff, because, you know, it's that's what it's about, having fun. You know, I don't ever really come to work and it's a chore. It's never been. Even when I was at my first job, I loved what I did. So that's really important. So yeah, that's one of the big things as well. When you don't really need to be motivated too hard, when you really, if you had all the money in the world, you'd probably still just come and do the same thing anyway. So it's hard to not be motivated when you love what you do.
Yeah. And I was always told, if you love what you do, you never work another day in your life.
Absolutely, yeah. It's I come in and I play with engines, I play with motorbikes, and I do that. And even some of the more mundane tasks, like, you know, like trademarking and intellectual property and stuff like that is interesting. But I mean, it's not all the motorbikes. I think you know, when we're coming in, we're building a brand, and like silly things like this. I mean, we did. Obviously, our coffee, we did our Thornton 100 coffee, fueled by coffee, which is really cool. And then this was one we did last week, which is a custom Thornton 100 Pommery champagne. So this is going to go into like some goodie bags. So we go to like luxury goods shows, and what I wanted to do was, I think those shows are really good, but you can give someone a card, but a card just gets put in a pocket and gets put away. So when we go to those shows, and not everyone will get one, but when we go to like one of those shows, and this is like a marketing thing, but we've got these like really nice thick bags, and in the bag will be a bottle of champagne, will be a key ring, and it'll be a hard backed, like a really nicely bound photo book with lots of Thornton 100 in. And these bags would probably cost us like 25-30 quid each. But the way I'm seeing it, the way I'm envisioning like that is, when customer, or not even a customer, potential customer comes in, is really interested, and then comes to us in the morning and picks up, and I go, oh, let me give you one of these, and give them one. And they go, oh, no, I don't want it. And I'll go, oh, there's champagne in there. And they'll be like, oh, okay, then go on then. And they take it, and then they go and sit at lunch, and then they put it on the table, and they go, oh, you know, 100 champagne, and it sits there, and it's all nice. And then they start looking at the book, and they pass it to someone else, and they look through the book and go, oh, wow, you know. So, and then they go home and they take it and they put it on the side, and then they look at it for the next month or so, and and then give me a call, buy it, really. So that's the stuff I like at the moment, and that seems like basic marketing, but like usually people just hand out a card and that. So I was like, oh, what can we do to really motivate people?
Yeah.
So,
and also stand out.
And stand out. Just give them a nice bottle of champagne, you know, a custom branded bottle of champagne, and it is expensive, and you know, we spent a fair few £1,000 just on these bags, and there's not a lot of them. I think it's like 40, 50 of them, they're going to be just. I love branding and marketing. It's really interesting for me, so it's good. It's good stuff. Yeah, absolutely. So building the brand, building the legacy is nice to be motivated by that at the moment.
No, that's brilliant. Well, no, I really appreciate your time. I know you're busy.
Nice
so thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in, and catch you soon.
Yeah.